Stop scrolling because the coins you are about to see could turn your spare change into thousands of dollars overnight. These Australian 10-cent coins look completely normal, but hidden among them are rare dates, powerful errors, and near-perfect examples that collectors are fighting over for $5,000, even more right now. People across Australia are unknowingly spending these coins every single day, while a few smart collectors are pulling them out and cashing in big. Check your pockets, check your jars, because one of these coins could already be sitting right in front of you, waiting to be discovered. Today, we are counting down the 5 most valuable Australian 10-cent coin, and starting with number 5. The 1985 Australian 10 cents coin is quietly becoming one of the most underestimated coins in modern Australian history, and most people still treat it like loose change without realizing that. Certain examples are now commanding thousands of dollars in serious collector markets. At first glance, it appears completely ordinary, featuring the iconic lyrebird design that Australians have seen countless times, but what separates a common coin from a high-value treasure is condition, rarity, and the presence of striking errors that only trained collectors truly understand. The vast majority of 1985 10-cent coins were heavily circulated across Australia, passing through countless hands, accumulating scratches, dull surfaces, and worn details, which means finding one today in near-perfect, untouched condition is incredibly difficult, and that is exactly why top grade examples are exploding in value. Coins that have been preserved in mint state condition with blazing original luster razor-sharp feathers on the lyrebird and zero visible wear are now being chased by collectors willing to pay $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 in competitive auctions and private sales simply because so few pristine examples exist. What makes this coin even more exciting is the growing discovery of rare mint errors from 1985 that have shocked the collecting community across Australia. Off-center strikes where the design is dramatically shifted, blank areas from clipped planchets, and strong die cracks running across the surface are being recognized as highly desirable, and these unique pieces can easily jump into the $6,000 to $8,000 range, or even higher depending on how dramatic and visible the error is. Some collectors are specifically targeting these unusual variations because they are one of a kind, meaning no two coins are exactly the same, which drives intense competition whenever one appears for sale. There have even been reports of double-struck examples and misaligned dies that create a distorted appearance, turning an already collectible coin into something truly extraordinary that serious buyers are willing to fight over. Another reason the 1985 10-cent coin is gaining attention is the shift in collector focus towards modern decimal coins in elite condition. While older silver coins have always dominated headlines, more Australian collectors are now realizing that modern coins in perfect condition are actually far rarer than people think because hardly anyone bothered to preserve them properly at the time. This has created a situation where demand is rapidly increasing while the supply of flawless coins remains extremely limited. As a result, prices have started climbing aggressively, and many experts believe this is only the beginning, especially for coins like the 1985 issue, which had no special treatment or saving behavior when it was released into circulation. Right now, across Australia, collectors are searching through old jars, bankrolls, and inherited collections hoping to uncover a high-grade 1985 10-cent coin because the difference between an average coin and a top-condition piece can literally be thousands of dollars. The excitement around this coin continues to grow as more people become aware of its potential and as auction results continue to surprise even experienced collectors. This is exactly the kind of coin that hides in plain sight, unnoticed for decades before suddenly becoming a major target in the market, and those who recognize it early are the ones who benefit the most. And the next coin will take things even further because its rarity and value potential is on another level, and collectors are paying even more shocking prices for it right now. Number 4. The 1981 Australian 10 cents coin is rapidly turning into a serious collector target across Australia, and what makes it so fascinating is how easily it gets ignored by the public despite the fact that certain examples are now reaching into the thousands of dollars in the right condition. Most people see this coin as nothing more than everyday change, but experienced collectors know that finding a truly high-grade 1981 piece is far more difficult than it seems. Over the decades, these coins were used heavily in circulation, which means the majority you come across today are worn down with faded details and dull surfaces. Because of this, the number of surviving coins with full mint brilliance, sharp design definition, and completely untouched surfaces is extremely limited, and that scarcity is exactly what is pushing values higher and higher. When a 1981 10-cent coin appears in near-perfect condition with strong eye appeal, clean fields, and crisp detail on the iconic Lyrebird, collectors immediately take notice and competition starts to build. In recent years, top-tier examples have been quietly selling in the $1,500 to $4,000 range, depending on overall quality and professional grading results. The difference between an average coin and a premium one is massive, and many people unknowingly spend or overlook coins that could actually be worth a small fortune. This has created a growing wave of collectors across Australia who are now searching through old coin collections and bankrolls, hoping to discover one of these overlooked treasures before someone else does. The real excitement begins when rare mint errors from 1981 start to appear, because these are the coins that can completely change the game. Off-center strikes that leave part of the design missing, dramatic die cracks running across the coin surface, and broad strike errors where the coin expands beyond its normal shape are all being hunted aggressively. These unusual pieces are highly desirable because they stand out instantly, and no two are ever exactly the same, which makes them extremely attractive to serious buyers. Depending on how strong and visible the error is, these coins have been known to reach $5,000 to $9,000 or even more in private sales, where collectors are willing to pay premium prices for something unique. Another factor driving attention toward the 1981 issue is the growing trend of collecting modern decimal coins in elite condition rather than focusing only on older silver pieces. Many Australian collectors have started to realize that modern coins in flawless condition are actually much harder to find because people simply did not preserve them carefully when they were first released. This shift in mindset has created increasing demand for coins like the 1981 10-cent, which once seemed common, but is now proving to be surprisingly scarce at the highest levels of quality. As more collectors enter the market and awareness continues to spread, the competition for top examples is becoming stronger, and prices are following that upward momentum. Across Australia right now, there is a quiet search happening as collectors go through jars, drawers, and inherited collections, looking for that one perfect 1981 coin that could be worth thousands. The idea that such a valuable coin could still be hiding in everyday change is what makes this so exciting, and it is exactly why more people are paying closer attention than ever before. What used to be overlooked is now being re-evaluated, and coins like this are finally getting the recognition they deserve in the collector world. And the next coin is even more surprising because its rarity and value potential goes far beyond expectations, and collectors are willing to pay even higher amounts to secure it. Number 3. The 1976 Australian 10-cent coin is one of those coins that quietly sits in collections and loose change without drawing attention, yet behind the scenes, it has been building a strong reputation among serious collectors who understand just how rare it becomes. In exceptional condition. At first glance, it carries the familiar Lyrebird design that Australians recognize instantly, but what most people do not realize is that finding a 1976 example with full mint brilliance, smooth, untouched surfaces, and razor-sharp detail is far more difficult than expected. Decades of heavy circulation have left the majority of these coins worn, scratched, and lacking eye appeal, which means truly high-grade pieces are now incredibly scarce. And that scarcity is exactly what is driving values into the thousands of dollars. When a 1976 10-cent coin surfaces in near perfect condition with glowing luster and no visible wear, it immediately stands out and attracts attention from collectors who are constantly searching for coins that meet the highest standards. These premium examples are no longer selling for small amounts, but instead reaching $1,800, $3,500, even up to $6,000 in competitive private deals and auctions where demand continues to rise. The difference between an ordinary coin and a top-tier specimen is dramatic, and many people unknowingly pass by coins that could hold serious value simply because they do not recognize the importance of condition. What truly pushes the 1976 issue into another level is the presence of rare and dramatic mint errors that have started to appear in the market and completely changed how collectors view this coin. Off-center strikes that shift the entire design, creating a visually striking, imbalanced clipped planches that leave a portion of the coin missing, and heavy die cracks that cut across the surface are all being hunted with intensity. These error coins are unique by nature, meaning each one tells a different story of what went wrong during the minting process, and that uniqueness is exactly what drives collectors to pay extreme prices. Strong examples of these errors have been known to reach $5,000, $7,000, even beyond $1,000, depending on how bold and clear the mistake appears, making them some of the most exciting finds in modern Australian coin collecting. Another reason the 1976 10-cent coin is gaining momentum is the growing shift in collector interest toward modern decimal coins that were never originally saved in high quality. Unlike older coins that were often set aside, these were treated as everyday currency and spent repeatedly, which drastically reduced the number of pristine survivors. Today, collectors are realizing that securing a flawless example is far more challenging than expected, and that realization is pushing demand higher with each passing year. As more people begin to understand this hidden rarity, the competition continues to intensify, and prices are moving upward as a result. Across Australia, there is now a quiet but determined surge taking place as collectors check old coin jars, inherited collections, and even bankrolls, hoping to uncover a high-grade 1976 10-cent coin that could be worth thousands. The idea that such a valuable coin can still be hiding unnoticed in everyday places is what makes this hunt so thrilling, and it is exactly why attention around this coin keeps growing. What once seemed ordinary is now being recognized as a potential treasure, and those who find the right example are seeing just how powerful condition and rarity can be in the coin market. And the next coin takes this to an entirely different level because its scarcity and value potential are even more extreme, and collectors are paying unbelievable amounts to get their hands on it. Number 2. The 1968 Australian 10-cent coin stands in a completely different league compared to later issues, and collectors across Australia are becoming increasingly aware that this coin has the potential to reach extraordinary values when found in elite condition. While it may look like a standard decimal coin with the familiar lira bird design, the reality is that high-grade examples from 1968 are far more elusive than most people expect. These coins entered circulation at a time when no one considered preserving them, which means the vast majority were used extensively, and now show clear signs of wear, fading, and surface damage. Because of this, finding a 1968 coin today with full mint luster, sharp feather detail, and a flawless surface is exceptionally difficult, and that rarity is what has driven serious collectors to pay thousands of dollars to secure the best examples available. When a true top-quality 1968 10-cent coin appears with strong eye appeal and almost perfect preservation, it immediately becomes the center of attention in auctions and private sales. Collectors who specialize in high-grade decimal coins understand that opportunities to acquire such pieces are extremely limited, and competition can become intense very quickly. In recent times, these premium coins have been pushing into the $3,000, $6,000, even $9,000 range, depending on how clean and well-struck the coin is, along with professional grading confirmation. The difference between an average circulated piece and a near-perfect specimen is massive, and it is this gap that continues to surprise people who are not familiar with how condition impacts value at the highest level. The real excitement surrounding the 1968 issue comes from its connection to early decimal coinage in Australia, which gives it additional historical significance and collector demand. Being part of the earlier years after the transition to decimal currency adds to its appeal and makes high-grade survivors even more desirable. As more collectors focus on completing high quality, sets the pressure to find a flawless 1968 coin continues to increase, and that demand is directly influencing the rising prices seen in the market today. Error coins from 1968 take the value potential even further, and these are the pieces that truly shock collectors when they appear. Off-center strikes with dramatic design shifts, major die cracks that create bold raised lines across the surface, and misaligned dies that distort the appearance are all highly sought after. These coins stand out immediately due to their unusual look, and collectors are willing to pay serious money for them because they are rare and often one of a kind. Strong examples of these errors have been reported in the $7,000 to well over $12,000 range, depending on visibility and overall condition, making them some of the most exciting modern Australian coin discoveries. Across Australia, the search for a high-grade or error 1968 10-cent coin is becoming more intense as awareness continues to spread among collectors and everyday people alike. Old collections, coin jars, and forgotten savings are now being rechecked carefully because the possibility of finding a coin worth thousands is very real. What once seemed like an ordinary piece of change is now being recognized as a hidden opportunity, and those who understand its rarity are paying close attention whenever one surfaces in exceptional condition. And the next coin is even more powerful because it includes rare varieties that can push values to unbelievable levels, and collectors are competing fiercely to secure them right now. Number 1. The 1966 Australian 10-cent coin is not just another piece of loose change, it is one of the most historically important and potentially valuable coins in Australia's entire decimal era. And collectors know that the right example can reach astonishing prices that most people would never expect from such a small coin. This was the very first year Australia introduced decimal currency, which instantly gives this coin a special place in history. And because of that, collectors have always paid close attention to it, but what is happening now is on a completely different level as demand continues to surge for top quality and rare variety pieces. At first glance, it carries the same iconic lyrebird design, but what sets the 1966 issue apart is the incredible range of varieties and the extreme difficulty in finding coins that have survived in pristine, untouched condition. Back in 1966, these coins were produced for everyday use and immediately entered circulation, where they were handled repeatedly, causing wear, scratches, and dull surfaces over time. Today, most examples you will find are far from perfect, which means when a coin appears with blazing mint luster, sharp feather detail, and a clean surface, it becomes a major target for serious collectors. These high-end examples are no longer selling for small amounts, but instead reaching $3,000, $6,000, even over $1,000 in strong collector markets, especially when professionally graded at elite levels. What truly makes the 1966 10-cent coin stand out is the presence of rare and highly sought after varieties that have captured massive attention in the collecting world. One of the most talked about is the 5 spikes variety on the lyrebird feathers, which may seem like a small detail, but to collectors, it represents a significant difference that can push the value dramatically higher. Another powerful variety includes unusual die characteristics and alignment differences that create subtle but important visual changes which experienced collectors actively search for. These variety coins have been known to reach $8,000, $12,000, even beyond, depending on condition and clarity, and when one appears in top grade, it can trigger intense bidding competition because of how few exist. Error coins from 1966 take the value potential even further, and these are the pieces that truly shock the market when they surface. Off-center strikes with large missing sections, clipped planchets that alter the shape of the coin, and strong die cracks that create bold raised lines are all extremely desirable. Some of these dramatic error coins have reached $1,000 to $15,000 or more in private deals, where collectors are willing to pay whatever it takes to own something unique and historically important. Because each error coin is different, it adds another level of rarity that cannot be replicated, which is why demand remains so strong. Another major factor behind the rising value of the 1966 10-cent coin is its role as the foundation of Australia's decimal coinage system. Collectors building complete high-grade sets must secure this coin, and that creates constant pressure in the market, especially for flawless or rare variety examples. As more people enter the hobby and begin to understand the importance of this issue, the competition continues to grow, and prices are moving upward as a direct result. Across Australia, people are now searching through old collections, inherited coins, and forgotten savings, hoping to discover a valuable 1966 piece that may have been overlooked for decades. Right now, this coin represents one of the strongest opportunities in modern Australian coin collecting. Because it combines history, rarity, and the potential for extreme value, all in one small piece, and those who recognize its importance are willing to pay serious money to secure the best examples available. If you want to discover more rare coins worth thousands, subscribe now and do not miss the next video, because the coins coming next are even more valuable and harder to find.